Hello, friends and listeners. I'm R from the Homicide Division, here to tackle eerie mysteries, grim crimes, and even seemingly small cases. Since this particular case was extremely complex and unusual, both for you and for me, we're going to break it down and analyze it in 8 parts. I'm glad to have you with me as we solve these cases, and I hope you've been satisfied with my work and enjoyed listening to the investigation. Now let's move on to a brief summary of this gripping case. Part 1. The beginning of the case. It started with a body. A man found dead in his own apartment with no signs of forced entry. When I arrived, the scene was cleaner than usual, too clean. The police focused on the clues they could see. I focused on the ones that were missing. Anyone could say he was dead, but only one could ask why, and why it was so silent. The violence was beyond anything I'd seen. The victim was nailed to the wall. What a horrifying crime. I've worked in this division for years, and I've never seen anything like it. Had been murdered with pure, merciless brutality. The first doubts. Every path led to a dead end. No fingerprints, no motive. It was as if someone had solved death like an equation. But in the medical reports, one small detail had been overlooked. A drug the victim was never supposed to take. That's where, for the first time, the name appeared in the margins of the case file. Of course, the clues were supposed to lead us to something we never expected. Michael's entrance. Strangely, we suspected Michael Thompson's colleague and rival. We didn't have much time to prove that Mike was the killer, since he had been there exactly on the night of the murder, and Michael had been the last person to call him before his death. Of course, he was just an old friend, or at least that's how it seemed. He had a psychiatric history and no direct connection to the victim, but his eyes, they were empty, as if he had buried something. I didn't believe he was the killer, but I believed he was hiding something. Something that would lead us to the murderer. The noose tightens. The case had become extremely strange. We knew that someone had gone missing on the train on July 3rd, but the odd thing was that the missing person's name on the train was listed as Mike Harper. After extensive investigation, I realized that the name had been recorded incorrectly. The person who had actually gone missing was Daniel. After the second murder, the pattern became clear. Both victims had been under the care of the same doctor. Name, a flawless record, an untarnished reputation. Yet no one but me noticed that in the final weeks, both victims had been given medications that clouded the mind and destroyed the will. The final suspicion. As soon as Mike was arrested for murder, he was interrogated. Before his death, Michelle had called Mike. His voice was trembling. He said that his doctor had implanted something in his mind, memories that weren't his own. At that moment, I realized I had to confront the doctor. Maybe the doctor wasn't just treating his patients, he was driving them to kill. The dangerous game. I was alone. No one believed me. I had no solid evidence. Only suspicion, and a narrow path that could lead to my destruction. So I went in. I broke into his office and noticed something strange on the floor, a small wooden box containing 10 teeth stolen from his victims. My mind sank into the hell he had created. Every line of the case felt like the voice of someone buried, calling for help. The moment of arrest. When the police arrived, I was standing right there, holding a box filled with evidence that wasn't enough. They didn't see the doctor, they only saw me. In their eyes, I was the madman who had broken into a physician's office. I stayed silent, because I knew that silence was more believable than a scream. After the fall. Now I am here, labeled a criminal. They closed the case, but the truth is not a case that can be closed. The truth is alive, breathing, inside the minds of those who still don't know that their thoughts aren't their own. If you listen, maybe you'll hear the doctor's voice. I still do. How do you sense the whisper of justice? Can you easily figure out the matters of this case and solve them? Did you manage to find the killer before I did?
Don't forget to follow and subscribe to The Bloody Clue. Stay tuned for more mysterious stories. With me, Detective Jack Mercer.